In this video, we're going to look at questions where we have to find a missing number. To help us, there is a little rhyme. Missing number in the middle, do a subtraction after a fiddle. Missing number at the end, that's straightforward, my friend. Missing number at the beginning, do the inverse and you're winning. So if we look at the red one, for an example, 74 take away something equals 59. So we have to fiddle around with the numbers and do a subtraction. 74 take away 59 will give us our missing number. Whenever the missing number is at the end, in the yellow box, it is straightforward. You just simply carry out the sum that's listed. When the missing number is at the beginning, we must do the inverse operation. So that's the opposite. So we look at our first example. Something plus 12 equals 29. So the opposite of adding is subtracting. So we must do 29 take away 12. Second example, something take away 26 equals 71. The opposite of take away is add. So we do the sum 71 add 26 to get our missing number. And the final one, something times 4 equals 32. Well, the opposite of multiplication is division. So 32 divided by 4 will give us our missing number. Look at the statement below. A take away 54 equals 132. What is the value of A? If we remember back to our little rhyme, missing number at the beginning, do the inverse and you're winning. So A take away 54 equals 132. We need to carry out the inverse. So we will be left with A equals 132 plus 54. So the opposite of subtraction is adding, so we have to add the 54. And then I can carry out my sum to figure out the value of A. So 132 plus 54. 2 and 4 are 6, 3 and 5 are 8, and 1 and 0 is 1. So the value of A is 186. Look at the equation below. N plus 3.4 equals 14.2. What is the value of N? Again, remember in our little rhyme, missing number at the beginning, do the inverse and you're winning. So we must carry out the inverse of adding. So our original sum, N plus 3.4 equals 14.2. We must carry out the inverse. So instead of adding, we're going to subtract. So we're going to have N equals 14.2 take away 3.4. And I can carry out my sum now. So I'll write a vertical sum, keep my decimal points all in a line. 2 take away 4 we cannot do, so we've got to do some exchange. 12 take away 4 is 8, decimal points in a line. 3 take away 3 is 0, 1 take away 0 is 1, so your value for N is 10.8. What are the values of A and B in the calculations below? So the first one, to find A, 916 take away A equals 125. So again, remembering back to our little rhyme, missing number in the middle, do a subtraction after a fiddle. So 916 take away A equals 125. So I've got to fiddle around with my numbers and it will result in a subtraction sum. So 916 take away 125 will equal A. So I can write out my vertical sum. 916 take away 125. 6 take away 5 is 1. 1 take away 2 we cannot do, so we need some exchange. 11 take away 2 is 9, and 8 take away 1 is 7. So your value of A is 791. Now the second part, we're going to work out B. So 81 divided by B equals 9. So again, the missing number is in the middle. So our statement begins, 81 divided by B equals 9. So my missing number is in the middle, so I must carry out a little fiddle. So it becomes 81 divided by 9 would equal my missing value of b, and 81 divided by 9 is 9. So my b is 9. Just a quick recap of our little rhyme. Missing number in the middle, do a subtraction after a fiddle. In this occasion, because it was subtraction. But if that were division or multiplication, your sign would stay the same, but you just fiddle with the numbers. Missing number at the end, that's straightforward, my friend. Just carry out the sum. Missing number at the beginning, do the inverse and you're winning. So if you're missing numbers at the start of your question, you must carry out the inverse, the opposite. So adding becomes subtracting, subtracting becomes adding, multiplication becomes division. If 13 plus p equals 21, what is the value of p plus 7? Write your answer in the space below. Well, we must work out what p is before we can add 7 to it. So 13 plus p equals 21. Well, this is the exact same as p plus 13 equals 21. So now with p at the beginning, remember missing number at the beginning, do the inverse and you're winning. So to find the answer then, we are left with p equals 21 minus 13. So p, we do a little bit of mental maths, is 8. And then we can carry out p plus 7. So it's 8 plus 7. So our overall answer is 15. Complete the calculation below by writing the correct decimal number in the box. So missing number at the beginning, do the inverse and you're winning. So we've got to carry out the opposite. My times by 8 becomes a divide by 8. So it's 75.2 and we're dividing 8 into it. 8 into 7 does not go. 8 into 75 goes 9 times, and you've got 3 left over because 8 nines are 72. And 8 into 32 goes 4 times. So our missing number is 9.4. Look at the 3 statements below. X plus 14 equals 31. Y times 3 equals 27. And Z minus 7 equals 9. Which letter has the largest value? Well, we've got to solve all of them. So let's begin with solving x. So missing number at the beginning, do the inverse and you're winning. So that sum will become x equals 31 minus 14. So x, after some mental maths then, you can figure that out, that x is going to be 17. Let's solve y now. Y again is at the beginning, so we have to do the inverse and you're winning. So y is found by taking our 27 and dividing it by 3. So y then is 9. And the final one, again, missing number at the beginning, do the inverse and you're winning. So z is found by taking our 9 and adding 7. So z then, in this case, would end up being 16. So you can check the 3 values and it's quite clear that x is the largest of the 3. Look at the equation below. A divided by 12 equals 24. We have a missing number at the beginning, do the inverse and you're winning. So A would then be found by taking the 24 and timesing it by 12. We will have to carry out a long multiplication sum. So 24 multiplied by 12. So 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. Then we're on to our tens, so we put a 0 in. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. And the last step is to add the numbers. 8 and 0 is 8. 4 and 4 is 8. And 2 and 0 is 2. So the value of A is 288. Calculate the values of A and B in these equations. A minus 3 equals 6. So again, Missing number at the beginning, do the inverse and you're winning. So A is found by taking our 6 and adding 3. So A would be 9. And the second one for B, 25 plus B equals 44. So missing number in the middle, do a subtraction after a fiddle. So B would be found by taking 44 and subtracting 25. We can write ourselves a vertical sum. 4 take away 5 we cannot do, so we carry out some exchange. 14 take away 5 is 9, and 3 take away 2 is 1. So B would be 19. Another little recap of our rhyme. Missing number in the middle, do a subtraction after a fiddle. Missing number at the end, that's straightforward, my friend. Missing number at the beginning, do the inverse and you're winning. Look at the equation below. 525 divided by 9 equals 105. What is the value of A? So missing number in the middle, so we must carry out a little fiddle. So we would be left with A equals 525 divided by 105. Now this is quite a tricky division sum, so let's carry out some repetitive addition. We take our 105 and add 105, so we're already up to 210. Add on another 105, we're on 315, another 105, we're on 420, we'll add another 105, and that would bring me up to 525. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 105. So A is 5. Look at the two calculations below. Complete each calculation by finding the missing number. So A, it's got our missing number at the beginning. Do the inverse and you're winning. So A would be solved by taking the inverse, so 425, and we have to subtract 156, and that will give us our missing number. So 425 take away 156. 5 take away 6 you cannot do, so some exchange is needed. 15 take away 6 is 9. 1 take away 5, again we cannot do, more exchange. 11 take away 5 is 6. 3 take away 1 is 2. So our missing value for A is 269. Now B. 7 times something equals 952. So that's just the same as something multiplied by 7 equals 952. So again, missing number at the beginning, do the inverse and you're winning. So we have times by 7, so we have to do the inverse, so it becomes divide by 7. So for solving B, our missing number is found by taking 952 and dividing it by 7. So we'll write a division step. 7 into 9 goes once, and there are 2 left over. 7 into 25 goes 3 times, and there's 4 left over. And 7 into 42 is 6. So our missing number is 136.